What Pokemon is the next Tom Brady, Barry Sanders, Megatron, or even Joe Thomas of football? It's fantasy football time, so what better way to celebrate it than building our own Pokemon fantasy football team? In this video, we're going to be building our dream Pokemon offense. Now let's be clear, I'm not an expert when it comes to football, but I do love it. And what else do I love? Pokemon, of course. Let's take a couple things into account. Pokemon have extraordinary powers and abilities that we can't even fathom of. However, we're going to take all of that out of the equation. Abilities and moves will not be utilized in this ultimate dream team. Sorry teleporters and baby mons, but I don't think you're going to make the cut. We're going to be looking at the pure build and physique of these Pokemon and building the best offense we can based off of that. The offense consists of 11 players that can vary based on play type. For our offense, we'll be running 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 fullback, 1 running back, the 5 linemen, and of course, the quarterback. Let's start with the first Pokemon to touch the ball. No, not the quarterback.
You just blowing from stupid town?
We're talking about the center. A good center needs to be big, strong, have great agility, and stamina. This Pokemon needs to be able to accurately snap the ball and immediately help assist with blocking. Center also has to be able to read the defense and call out line adjustments, and much more. What Pokemon do we have in mind for this position? But first, before we figure out who our center is going to be, we need to find a head coach. This Pokemon needs to come up with a game plan. Someone who is intelligent and who can think on the fly. Who can fit this head coaching role? I'm thinking a Pokemon like Cacturn, the dark grass Pokemon that is devious and might just be tricky enough to find us a win. Or Blacephalon, the fireworks Pokemon. Or even Mewtwo, the genetics Pokemon. A Pokemon created in a lab from the DNA of Mew. So, Blacephalon gives me coaching vibes. At the same time, he might just be a glorified cheerleader. So he's out. Mewtwo has the intelligence to be a great head coach who will be able to change up the scheme on the fly and motivate his team to play better. Cacturn has the look of a head coach, however, I don't think the other Pokemon will respect him. So therefore, I think Mewtwo will be our head coach. So for the center, we need Pokemon like Ursaring, Abomasnow, Regigigas, or even Emboar. All of these Pokemon fit the build for this position. Regigigas might be a little too slow to get the snap off and help out with blocks. Abomasnow, the snow warning Pokemon, fits well, might be a little bit too much upper body. Emboar also shares the look of a center, however, we'll be able to get the snap off. And last, Ursaring. Great build, should have the speed and hands to snap the ball, however, he might be a little too lean. Tough choice, but I think we're going to go with Emboar. Should be able to get the snap off. Let's trust this Gen 5 fire starter. Okay, we have our center. Let's move to the left and right of the center and talk about the gods! A good guard needs to be fast and agile with excellent blocking technique and great hand placement. He needs to have good footwork and good body strength. So there are a lot of solid mons. We have Pokemon like Nidoking, Kangaskhan, with his baby on the sideline of course, Aggron, Blastoise, Golem, and Tyranitar. We have 2 positions to fill here, so let's go ahead and take a couple of these mons out. Golem might be a little too rounded for this position. Tyranitar, I know, y'all really wanted him to make the team, but he has those little T-Rex arms that might just be a little bit too short.
Stop being a fucking dinosaur and get a job.
Aggron has a great build for this position, however, his tail might be a little too big and get in the way, and the same goes for Nidoking. So we have Blastoise and Kangaskhan. Both great builds for the guards. Blastoise definitely helps out with that higher intelligence, and Kangaskhan, with his baby on the side, definitely going to play to impress. We'll place Blastoise as the right guard and Kangaskhan as the left guard. I like that. Okay, now that we have those positions lined up, let's talk about right tackle. The right tackle needs to be big, tall. This Pokemon needs to be aggressive, smart, and of course, athletic. In addition, they need to have great movement skills, balance, coordination, and technique. We have Pokemon like Feraligatr, Rhyperior, and even Electivire. Rhyperior is a great build for this position because he has the speed. Gator is amazing, but these darn tails might just keep getting in the way. And Electivire has those great hands, great footwork, but is he a little bit too small for the position? Unpopular opinion, but I think we're going to take a risk on the smaller Pokemon. Congratulations, Electivire. Make sure you make Paul proud. Let's move to the opposite side of the line. The left tackle. A good left tackle helps prevent the quarterback from being brought down to the ground by a defender that the quarterback doesn't sense coming. Similar to the offensive lineman, a left tackle needs to be large in stature, exceptionally strong. So finishing off the O-line, we have Pokemon like Slacking, Rillaboom, and even Urshifu. Once again, all very solid mons. However, Slacking does have the speed, but might just be a little bit too lazy. Urshifu, great choice, but I feel like he doesn't have the upper body strength. So that leaves us with Rillaboom. And honestly, I could be biased here, but I don't see a downside to him playing the left tackle. Our line is set. Let's add the next player closest to the line. The tight end. This Pokemon needs a combination of size and speed. He needs to be able to block and also have the ability to catch the ball. He needs to be able to stretch the field and find openings in the zone or separate from man coverage. This is a fun one, and I was really struggling with who I wanted in this position, and there were a few mons I truly felt could fit the position well. I ended on Pangoro, Buzzwole, and Chestnut. All three have great upper body strength and the speed to get down the field. Based on the three, I truly feel the best mon to fit this position is Buzzwell. So let's go ahead and go with him. Alright, let's finish with the last two players on the line of scrimmage, our wide receivers. We have two different types of wide receivers, a primary and a slot. Yes, I know, a slot receiver is normally when there's 3 wide receivers on the field or when there's a wide receiver between a tight end. We understand that. But you know what? Let's just play along with it. Let's start with the slot receiver. Slot receiver needs to be fast. They need to be faster than fast. They need to make fast not look fast. And of course, they need to be able to catch the ball and run great route, which means they perfect the movement and timing when running a desired route to throw off the defense. They need to be in sync with their quarterback and have the ability to make moves after the catch. Skill positions are so fun to think about, and the slot receiver is one of my favorite positions in the NFL, who is typically a little bit smaller and a nightmare to cover, or even keep up with. The Pokemon that came to mind for me were Infernape, Passimian, and Incineroar. I really want Incineroar on the team because I think he can play so many different positions. However, I feel like he would just be very average at all those positions. Therefore, he's out. Passimian is a great option, definitely has the hands and movement to make an amazing slot receiver. But ultimately, I sided with Infernape. I feel like he would be the biggest playmaker at this position, and that's what this position is truly looking for. Primary receiver. They must have a good combination of physical traits and hand-eye coordination. A great receiver is agile, has great body control, strength, quickness, soft hands, physical stamina, concentration, focus, toughness, pride, vision, and even intelligence. So who is going to be our Randy Moss or Megatron? I'm going to keep this one simple. I had Pokemon like Grimmsnarl and Zoroark. However, there is only one right option in my opinion, and that's the Speedster, with insane jumping ability and just looks like an amazing receiver. Of course, I'm talking about my boy Blaziken. Can you imagine anybody or a Pokemon trying to cover this mon? Not gonna happen. Alrighty then. We have our players figured out on the line of scrimmage. Now let's figure out the backfield. Let's start with the most forgotten position in football, Deflategate. Oops, no, not that. Bill Belichick spying on other teams. Dang it, not that either. Stupid. The fullback, of course. This player needs to be aggressive and intense. They need speed and stamina, and be able to sense where the defense is coming from in order to block for the quarterback, or create openings for the running back. Fullback was a very hard position to think of. Who could play this role? And overall, I'm happy who we went with. Again, fullback is a bruiser, the person you can trust to get that 1 yard on 3rd and 1, and also be able to pass block and lead block on a run. My mind was locked in on 3 different mons. We have the Powerhouse in Darmanitan, the Fighting Octopus in Grappalock, and then the Fighting Champion, Machamp. I made it easy and I went with Champ is here! Just so I can say his name, and gives me a reason to bring up John Cena, of course. But ultimately, I feel like he's not good enough to be a running back, but could definitely get those hard yards. Running back time. Can't touch this. No, not like MC Hammer. They need to be fast and elusive, have great running ability, and be able to catch the ball. They need to be able to have sudden bursts of speed and either break through gaps or squeeze through them. The most disrespected position in football. Doesn't matter how amazing you are, you're not going to get paid. But the Browns will pay. Wait, let's not get into that. I knew who I wanted in this position before any other position, and there was no change in my mind. However, I did look into a few mons, just to say I gave them a chance. I had Pokemon like Greninja, the sticky hand Pokemon. You know he's not going to fumble the ball. I thought about a Marshawn Lynch build in Zarude, but ultimately, none of that could change my mind. I'm going to go with my boy Zeraora. Just look at him. Now that's a running back. Alright, here we are. The moment you've all been waiting for. What Pokemon am I going to compare to the amazing Tom Brady? It's okay. I hate him because he's the best. And that's just how life is. Everyone hates someone that is truly better than them in every way possible. The most important position on the offense. This Pokemon needs to be cool under pressure. Needs to be able to make pinpoint perfect throws. Has to have the arm strength to get the ball where it needs to go, whether that's deep downfield or in the tight spaces between defenders. This Pokemon needs to demonstrate leadership on the field, motivate, and make other players better. He needs to have a sixth sense connection with his receivers and put the ball where only they can get it. Who best fits the spot? So, we're here. Good old time with the quarterback. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it makes you feel. Who I go with on this one, I'm not going to be right. Let's just talk a little about who we have on our list. We have the Aura Pokemon, Lucario. Yeah, he won't be able to use his ability, still be able to sense where his receivers are going. And there's Inteleon, the Snipe Shooter Pokemon. He's tall, and he'll be able to put the ball where he wants. Does he have the arm strength to throw it down the field?
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Then we have the Big Ben Pokemon, Obstagoon. This Pokemon has the ability to keep drives alive and make big plays downfield, but ultimately, I had to go with someone else. Now hear me out. If Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes had a baby. What? I said, if Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes had a baby. What? I said, if Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes had a baby, I think it would look exactly like this. Toxtricity. This mon fits the quarterback role in so many ways. He can stay in the pocket, throw them dots, can move around and run the ball down the field on his own if need be. But what truly seals the deal is he is an absolute rock star, and you know he's not going to cave under pressure. So, there we have it. What do you think about our offense? What would you change? Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys haven't, please make sure to hit that like button, consider subscribing, and let me know, who would your Pokemon football team be and why? Yo, happy drafting everybody. Stay tuned for when we make our defense. As always, have a wonderful day, and just in case you didn't know, go Broncos! Broncos country. Let's ride!